welcome back to In the Pilot Seat. I'm MJ.
And this is AJ.
We are covering Altered Carbon.
By Netflix.
Yep. And we do have a guest to help us out with that today. Welcome, Sean Musgrove.
Hey everybody, good to be here.
And you're over at the Bagged and Boarded podcast.
Yeah, I'm at the Bagged and Boarded podcast. It's a weekly podcast that we just launched about 2 weeks ago regarding comic books and comic book pop culture. Check us out. You can follow me at Money Musgrove. That's my individual Twitter handle, as well as the Weekly BB for the Bagged and Boarded section.
Oh, I didn't know we were in plugs already.
Oh, look at that shameless plug.
Yeah, I got to plug what you can. Just plug it now.
Okay.
Well, I didn't get my intro like that, so I thought I needed to come up with something.
I think you're here to spy at us and see what you can do for your podcast.
Oh yeah, because we're clearly competitors in the podcasting world.
Same genres and all.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, as we said, we're going to be doing Altered Carbon. We're going to cover the pilot, episode title, Out of the Past. Let's do the Netflix synopsis. Waking up in a new body 250 years after his death, Takeshi Kovacs discovers he's been resurrected to help a titan of industry solve his own murder.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So this show stars Joel Kinnaman from The Killing, James Purefoy from Rome and The Following, Martha Higarida. I don't know.
Is that her real?
That's what IMDb said.
Wow. She's really not helping the cause here. Okay.
And Renee Elise Goldsberry from Hamilton, which we all kind of just saw together.
Yes, we did.
After how long it finally happened.
Skylar sister over there.
Yeah, it's killing it over there.
She's Angelica.
Oh. This is why we keep him around.
He's really trying to get picked up by someone here.
Hey, just trying to get a contract where I can get one,
All right. So I'll open it to you guys. What did you think of this pilot?
I'm not a big sci-fi person, so I really have to be in the mood to watch something like this.
Right.
You know, let's start with the sci-fis that I like. I like Orphan Black. You know,
same.
Black Mirror is interesting too because it's just like a one and done episode. So
like our podcast.
Yeah, like our podcast. Westworld. I didn't think I was gonna like that, but I ended up getting into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to really be in the mood. So I started watching. It took me a lot of tries to watch the first episode. Let's start with what I like. I like the cinematography. I think it's pretty artistic. Their landscape shots and everything. So that's really good. So I'm not sure. Is this a murder mystery? Is this I feel like there's a lot of sex, a lot of violence. I mean, what is going on here? They're just throwing everything at once. You know.
Here's some drugs. Here's some titties. Here's some sci-fi. Get it? That's what Netflix said.
I was like, we're gonna get everyone here. You know. So that's how I feel. You know, very eerie in the beginning, but yeah, I think I'm gonna continue watching it.
Okay. You see that for later, though.
Yeah, let's cut that.
You gotta add it to the list real quick, but it's gonna stay there for a while.
Sean?
So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting... I'm a big sci-fi guy. Blade Runner is probably my favorite movie of all time. Altered Carbon definitely has the kind of cyberpunk future feel. And it's based off of a book series called... The first book's Altered Carbon. Came out in 2002. And I think science fiction is one of the hardest genres, I think, for people to get down with, because science fiction is really about... A good science fiction writer really is just trying to have you be thought-provoking. And so this gets into some of those concepts. I don't know if the pilot episode really refines the concept it's trying to express. But the setting, like Agnes said... I'm sorry, AJ. AJ said was it's very good. I mean, it's futuristic. It looks like it takes place in like San Francisco, California area, because they're at Alcatraz Bay.
Oh yeah.
So
are they on Earth?
Yeah, they're definitely on. They're on Earth. It's interesting. There's a lot of good things that we'll delve into as we go further. Yeah. But I mean, overall, I mean, I think that it's an interesting jump for Netflix to go into this because the budget behind this show was quite extensive, from
feels
what
like
I
it's a lot.
understand.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
They spent. It's reported in articles. They spent a lot of money on this show, through the CG, the actors themselves, everything. It was
They could
pretty
have
costly
used that
for
money
them.
for Sense 8 though, but just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how much orgies can you
That's
film
true.
before it gets tiring?
That's a very good point. You have to fly everyone to different places, so.
But I think it's a good point to bring up. Actually, like we're kind of hitting on the concept of science fiction here, but the concept is essentially the show is the characters are in sleeves. These sleeves are bodies. They get something called a stack that gets put in their neck when they're 1 year old, and then from there, your consciousness can be digitized. And the idea is that you can be put into other bodies, and carbon is what humans are made out of. So this is altered carbon. So
I like the whole concept of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
me too.
the idea
the fact
of
that I don't have to work out and I can just choose another sleeve.
yeah, if you're rich, if you're rich,
If you're rich, you might get some prison sleeve. Yeah.
yeah, or you could be a 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
But so MJ, what were your thoughts on this?
This is controversial for anyone who I have been telling, because I have watched the entire season because, it's Netflix and we live in binge culture. And I have been shitting on this show for quite a while. And after rewatching the pilot, I liked it a lot more this time.
What?
Have I not told you?
No.
I feel like I've told everyone that it took about 8 episodes for me to actually like this show.
Oh no, okay. I didn't know you liked it now.
I know, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
You're
It's,
saving it for the
I saved it
podcast.
for the podcast,
Wow, that's very interesting.
I know. I don't know if I think it's like you. I need to be in the right mood. And
Yeah.
I think when it came out, I wasn't in the right mood to watch it.
It's just, yeah.
Until later on. And then now after rewatching the pilot and kind of, maybe it's because I kind of know everyone already, which doesn't really help new viewers. I don't know. But,
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it the second time around.
I enjoyed it the second time around. Let's get into it and let's see what we liked and didn't like about this pilot.
Sure. Okay, so the first scene right here, it's very symbolic. It looks like, an umbilical cord. Is it just me? Is
He's
that
in a
that's what they're
womb.
supposed to?
He's a womb, baby.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Baby.
what the heck? Being like a not too much of a sci-fi person, I was like, what is this? What is going on? I was like, God, like now I gotta read all this. Like I gotta figure out what's going on, The next scene, of course, goes straight to sex. There's another woman. Is it a threesome? I don't know what's going on. So
And they're covered in blood
yeah,
as well.
they're cleaning themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of cutting to, we don't know if this is a flashback or present or what. And I guess for a new viewer, you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and I do like the back and forth, like the the current time and the flashback. So that's really interesting. What I don't like is the fact that 250 years went by, and I feel like the city looks the same. Is it just me?
What city looks like that? They got buildings that go into the sky.
Well,
No,
I think she
I meant like
means
this city here, and then 250 years later,
when Takeshi
when the
becomes-
white Takeshi came around.
kinda looks-
And it looks like the same city.
Oh, okay. I
but-
see what you're saying.
Yeah, but
I
with
understand.
just, it's a little futuristic with like the billboards, and it's like hologrammy.
It's
But
Blade Runner.
essentially, it looks the same. So
Yeah.
in 250 years, like very very little has changed. You guys got new lights. That's about it.
It was a budget-conscious decision, I'm sure, that the city could have
You
looked
know what it
different.
That's what I was like. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought. What do you guys think of that?
Well,
I mean,
this could be.
you saw the whole series, so
yeah,
maybe
we
I'm
don't-
missing something.
Maybe we don't want to jump too far ahead here, but I think that when we kind of get probably 5-10 minutes more into the episode, it might explain it. This could be the start of kind of the development of maybe the super industry titans as they're kind of known as meths, that it could be that this is just kind of the beginning of their rise to power. So maybe the buildings are just kind of like this now, and then we kind of see that later on. I don't know.
But yeah, but 250 years, and that's all they got.
Maybe humans have hit the peak, and that's it.
Think about that, right?
Well, okay, but then again, I don't think that. Oh yeah, he has been down for 250 years.
Yeah. Food for thought.
But do we know if this is Earth? Right here in this scene, because there's a good chance that it's not, point. Because remember...
Because he woke up and he's like, where am I?
Yeah, when he gets in his nice big bag of goo, as I call it, he gets pulled out of that, he asks, he will ask the nurse or the person, the technician, where am I? And they say, he's like, and he goes, what planet?
Yeah, right.
So this might not actually be, because you also do see 2 moons.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
You see 2 moons in the background, so I'm thinking it's another planet.
Oh, that's why we have you, Sean, for as a guest here.
That's what it is. But I will say, in the defense of everybody, this scene does not help anybody figure out what the hell's going on.
That's true.
It's because it's very confusing.
Yeah.
It seems complex.
There's sex, of course. There's the next scene has action, and he can see through the walls. I mean, or maybe the walls are heat censored. We still don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. At this point of the scene, I would say that, like, viewing it, I had no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that kind of was the point, and as we get further in, that's when they start kind of explaining stuff. So, yeah, I think that was just the point of kind of keeping us like, oh, I need to keep watching to find out what the hell is going on.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, so stressed already. I'm like, let me stop this. Oh, then there's a bag of goo the next scene. I was like, it's just all too much in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's looking like a bad bag of shrimp, you ask me. A little slimy.
Yeah. I do have this clip, so we can watch this. It kind of sums up what the show is. A little bit. All right, let's watch this.
Your body is not who you are. You shed it like a snake sheds its skin. Leave it forgotten behind you.
So yeah, she says, you shed your skin. Or wait, you shed it like a snake sheds its skin. So that's basically
this
what
one
this
hell
is.
of a training there.
I know.
Times are rough.
It's like a really bad internship.
It's like, I didn't cover this. I didn't sign up for this, pretty much.
Yeah. Right.
And then she's in for a treat, because the next scene is them pulling that cord out of his mouth.
Or, well, attempting to.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, you see some flashbacks going on that he remembers everything because his consciousness is digitized into the stack we talked about. So he's experiencing it as he's waking up in his new sleeve, his new body. He had some violence that occurred, which you see, different gunshots, was wounded. Actually, technically his body was killed. And so he winds up, to me, having kind of like a David Blaine magic trick go off, where he jumps off of the table and essentially pulls this kind of pseudo-umbilical cord out of his throat.
Oh, it's long,
really
too.
disgusting.
And the technicians are like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, it's so long. Like, I had to reach his ass.
But
I was like, is his penis gonna come out of here?
It's like a magic trick where you pull the scarves out of your sleeve. We'll bring it back to the sleeves.
So this is important though, because this is where he falls off the table and the mask comes off with the cord attached to it, that you actually get to see your star of the show.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where we're first introduced to White Takeshi.
Yeah, so
White
played
Takeshi.
by Joel Kinnaman.
Right. He was having flashbacks though, right? To old.
Every now and then, he was having flashbacks.
If this was if this was happening, like, did you know, like, were we able to put it together already that was him?
Yeah, because when he saw himself in the mirror, he was like, he saw Asian Takeshi, and then it blurred into White Takeshi. Because he's so used to seeing himself as an Asian guy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so I kind of like figured it out. That's when I figured it out.
So
I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay. I see what's going on here.
Right. So like after he pulls out the umbilical cord, he's like,
Yeah.
"Give me a mirror." Fights off like the two people.
Yeah, some two scrub technicians. That
Yeah, basically.
aren't going to beat up Joel Kinnaman, who's absolutely just jacked out of his mind in this.
And he hasn't moved in 250 years, so he has all that energy, you know?
Exactly.
Which they get into that later in the episode.
Yeah,
It's
they
got
all
some
kind
pin-up
of like.
stress, if you know what I mean, folks.
Oh yeah. They like threaten to sedate him, and he demands a mirror. Sees himself as the Asian guy. And then finally, like, the reflection just turns into his current reflection.
Yeah.
So that's basically our... This was him. That was him. That all the flashbacks we saw, that was him.
And then he's like, he demands a shower. He's like, where's the shower? You know, like, he can walk fine, like he wasn't in the sack for 250 years.
Oh, yeah, and that was the other thing. He was demanding to know how long he had been down for.
Where he is.
Yeah, where he is. They're in Alcatraz, Bay City, and he's like, "What planet?" And they're like,
planet,
"Earth." Oh no. That's exactly how it went, right?
Yeah.
That's what the question I would have asked. You know, what planet am I on? Clearly.
So that you probably did make a good point, John. Where maybe he was on another
I didn't even think
planet.
about that. Yeah, well.
But then it looks like Alcatraz
Well,
now.
I mean, it's science fiction, so
Yeah.
I mean, just immediately, and I have to be honest, folks, I have watched the entire show. Never read the books, but I've watched the show. So I don't want to go too much into the actual season itself, but I mean, it's science fiction, so we should expect this. That there's possibility of planets, and they get into it more and more as the episode goes on. I thought a funny thing to bring up was the fact that in this first episode, there's at least 3, if not 4, shower scenes. Like, everyone's always in the shower.
And washing it off.
He was in the shower in the beginning. So literally, we're 5 minutes in and he's had 2 showers. And he's having, like, an orgy shower with, like, other people here. And then we get, the next scene we get into, he's all cleaned off. He looks like $1 million.
They like to be clean in the show.
He's got this redhead telling him, basically giving the concept of what a stack is.
Oh,
And
I do have that clip.
Oh, perfect.
Because, another thing that basically sums up everything about this show.
Here's a shower.
And at first in the scene, you think it's just by himself, and then all of a sudden, here comes another sleeve creeping up, and then
One
another
thing I
sleeve
can promise
creeping
you.
up. Oh, they're coming, folks. Don't worry, they're
Coming back
coming.
from the dead is a
Females,
bitch.
Yeah, you got
Every
the most in
single
shape dude,
time.
arguably in Hollywood, in this
Welcome
scene
to
with
Alcatraz.
another
You
dude that shows up. It's probably the most
successfully
out of
completed
shape,
your prison sentence.
average guy you could
You
find.
may notice you are no longer in the body
Couple
you
women.
arrived in. This is a cortical stack. As protectorate citizens, we each have one, implanted when we are 1 year old. Inside is pure human mind, coded and stored as DHF, digital human freight. Your consciousness can be downloaded into any stack in any sleeve. You can even needle cast in minutes to a sleeve anywhere in the settled worlds.
All right.
Settled world.
Yeah, that was a loaded, 1 minute of information
I was
there.
like,
right
wow,
there.
this is a nice orientation.
Right?
I think personally, this is where, as a viewer, you're gonna almost kind of make your decision on the show almost right here.
If you're going to continue
I think
on.
this is about 60 to 70% of your decision.
Okay.
Unless you like Joel Kinnaman or you're like me and you just love sci-fi and you want to see where it goes, because it's begging the question of, here's the big philosophical concept that science fiction novels always argue or try and talk about, is that, are you a body or are you a soul? Are you a consciousness? And your stack represents that. And so if you're kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool, like AJ could be Angelina Jolie one day, then she could flip into a body and be Joel Kinnaman if she wanted. She could be a guy, she could be a girl, MJ could be a whole woman, all of that. So we have that kind of expressed here.
If you have money.
If you have money, yes.
Yeah.
Like all things in every world, whether you're on Earth or in Bay City on Jupiter, for all we know. But I think this is where, for me, I think it's a fundamental decision the viewers can say, yeah, I'm not really into this. Or they're like, oh, this is an interesting concept. Like, I'll see how it plays out.
All right.
So part of the orientation, the redhead explains that, once your stack is destroyed, there's no coming back. That's basically a real death. And there's nothing left for you. There's no way that you could be re-sleeved into another body. So try to not
Get blown.
mess up your head or in that general area.
And they refer to real death as RD'd. They got RD'd.
Oh.
And then there's the DHF she mentioned.
Yeah, which is a much cooler sounding term than what they say, digital human freight.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, DHS fine.
I was like, RD. I was like, request and delivery?
Research and development.
Yeah. So a lot of this whole scene is him kind of flashing back to, we get another flashback of Asian Kovac. And
So clearly the Asian Kovac got his head blown off. I think that's what they're referring to.
Oh, yeah, so what they're saying is that Kovac was, his body was eliminated or killed, we'll
but
say.
his stack
but his
was
stack
saved.
survived, yeah.
Okay.
So, but when they talk about that, they also flash back to the girl that he was with, and Jaeger, which is the German guy, soldier, that is there to arrest Asian Kovac. He asks, like, who's the woman? Kovac is like, she's no one. And then kind of just blows her right in the stack and to be an asshole.
Yeah, and Jaeger's looking like a poor man's Clive Owen, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But
A little bit.
But yeah, Jaeger in the flashbacks, he wants to arrest Kovac because he's a terrorist leader, or he works for a terrorist leader, the Calchrist. How do you say her name?
Yep, that's correct.
Calchrist Falconer.
It's a mouthful.
It is. Let's just call her Kel.
QF. I mean, they
little
they
QF.
abbreviate everything here. So this one is where he got called in separately by the main guy.
Oh yeah, so
And
during
he's
the
like,
orientation,
"Oh, you're being leased." Oh,
Yeah.
like leased? What is this?
Oh,
Slavery?
yeah. Right,
Pretty
so
much, right?
They basically tell him, like, the warden wants to talk to you, and he's kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Warden tells him that
He's a piece of shit, and his
Yeah.
record sucks, but he's been leased out to Bancroft Industries, which
Right.
you go, well, what the hell is a Bancroft Industries? Which that's about how Takeshi Kovac actually, he kind of says it the same way, like, well, who the fuck's that?
you kind of sound like him.
Yeah, I just wanted you to talk about my stack.
So leasing a body. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's when we kind of go into the scene where we see the other new re-sleeved people meet their loved ones or anyone that they're going to meet. And this is where we meet Ortega for the first time.
Yeah, and I was like, who the heck is that?
In a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way. I was like, oh, here we go.
You mean you don't like Lieutenant
I mean, you already know, like, from that scene that they're going to have sex. I mean, all right, Netflix. I see what you're doing here.
do they have sex? We
I have a
this is
feeling
the first
they
episode.
do.
But you know what's interesting about this whole scene? I kind of loved it because it's also another way for the viewer to see kind of how jarring the experience is when you're re-sleeved and you're going back to your family and
they're like,
we
don't look the same.
yeah, you're kind of a different person than our 7-year-old daughter. It's kind of
You look
rough.
70.
Yeah, you
You're
gotta...
acting like you're 7 years old, as you
Which is-
should be.
which is
It's
funny.
really sad.
It is sad, but it is funny now that, like, we know that this Cindy girl is 7 years old. Earlier when we were in the orientation,
I just thought she was crazy.
Kovac was offering her cigarette, and
Yeah.
she's like, oh. But now it's because we know she's 7 years old.
She looks like she could be from Orange is the New Black, too. I was like,
I thought that she was
lady
one of
sounds
those
familiar.
meth heads.
Yeah.
I totally thought she was one of those meth heads. But basically Cindy's parents, you know, it's the dad is like, what is going on? My daughter was supposed to get a free sleeve, and the officers, or
Yeah, because she got in an accident.
Yeah, she was murdered in a hit and run.
Yeah,
so
something
she,
like that.
the state was going to give her a free sleeve.
Yeah.
But
security guard goes,
security guard,
you get what's in inventory.
Yeah, you get what's in inventory. If you want to upgrade, you better pay for it. That sucks.
That really sucks. I mean, I couldn't imagine going through that.
That really sucks.
But so back to Ortega, the fact that Ortega, we don't know who Ortega is. We just know that she's kind of introduced herself, and she talks to Takeshi Kovacs, and immediately she's already kind of very abrasive, and she's definitely asking questions, and you're kind of like, okay, who are you?
Right.
Clearly you're a character, but why are you asking this? They walk out of the clinic, we'll say, and they see some
It's like a protest.
some protest with I guess there's some light rain, guys running around in ponchos, some
and
Day of the
Coco.
Dead looks. Yeah, Coco.
Looking like Coco over here.
Yeah, they're spirits. But it does bring up the point of that Kovacs has been out for 250 years, doesn't know what's going on. And Ortega fills him in about, I guess it's kind of like law or something 653, which is the idea of not spinning. You can spin people up from the dead, which means if they died, you could actually use their stack to bring them back and let them testify against their murderer. But they don't.
Right.
They kind of go in this real quick, and then it's
Victim
just,
restitution?
Yeah, exactly. And they go into this real quick, but then Ortega and him hop in some type of van or vehicle, flying hover car, and then they're off. They're off to go to see Bancroft Industries.
So, yeah, at first I thought Ortega was employee of Bancroft.
Bancroft, yeah.
And she's just interested in him.
Right.
You know? So, but yeah, this whole protest outside is really weird. It's like kind of eerie. Like, I lost my wife to re-sleeving.
It's eerie, but like
Right?
as I was watching it at the same time, I'm like laughing because I'm like, I feel like Hollywood still, unless it's a movie, I feel like TV shows never get a protest correct. Like, I feel like, man, these people be uppity. They be more outraged than this. They be fired up. Like, these people are clearly supposed to be passionate about this. These are about people, basically souls being spun up to talk, but they don't believe in it. And it just seems like people are just like, yeah, I'm here, cool. Like, oh, is there a corn dog stand?
My waterproof makeup's not, dripping.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. It kind of looks like a Misfits concert gone bad.
It does. It totally does. Oh.
So, yeah, we see the flying car, so that's great for 250 years.
Yeah, a
With
lot of improvements.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid, nobody knows.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this scene, you kind of just think it does look like what we saw in the flashback, too. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
what I'm
has
saying.
that
same feel.
Blade Runner city kind of feel.
And he's not even like, when he was looking around, he wasn't even shocked. Like, it was just a normal thing to him. Like, he's like, oh.
I kind of feel like that's his character. He's not really like...
It's very
Is it
nonchalant.
on-
he's just
Envoy
like,
intuition?
whatever. Yes. It probably is his envoy
God.
intuition.
I hope they dig more into that envoy intuition.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely get into it. That becomes, I think, a key part of the actual story element, not even the science fiction aspect, just the story itself.
I want to know what else he can do.
But it is cool. I mean, during that whole ride, they talk about Bancroft. Bancroft is over 360 years old. He's kind of on the same level as Kovacs here. I have in my notes, Kovacs is annoyed with Ortega, and frankly, so am I.
She's asking too many questions.
But
Like, jeez, like I've been asleep for 250 years, and then
Now I
I'm
gotta
getting
hear someone,
slammed.
yeah,
I'm
with
getting interrogated.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not getting slammed yet.
Well, not yet. But yeah, it's just I was like, oh, just give me a moment here. I just want to see my surroundings,
So many
see
colors.
see what improved, see what kind of
Yeah,
audio visual they have when I was away.
Yeah, the settings definitely, like you expressed earlier, was the fact that it seemed like, when his first body, to our knowledge, that he died in, we thought, oh, that city kind of looks a little lame. But now it looks like more Blade Runner-esque here, we've got digital advertisements, and they're flying through buildings, and he looks confused, but I think that's just how Joel Kinnaman looks, honestly, in everything he's in personally.
Oh, really?
Great actor, I just think he looks confused there.
And then Ortega's like, you don't know what a meth is? I was like, bitch, I've been asleep for 250 years.
She kind of still didn't really explain what a meth is. Can someone
Yeah,
explain that for me?
I still didn't know until like...
Are you a meth enthusiast?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a meth addict.
Oh. Can you tell me what it is?
So meths are just people that I think just are kind of titans of industry. This would be like, let's consider like Bancroft, kind of like Henry Ford.
Okay.
Or Rockefeller, one of those guys.
All
Just
right.
money oozing out. I guess at this point, at least I'll make it a little bit more relevant to now. We'll say that Bancroft would be like the Elon Musk of this world. Like, I have the Tesla, but I have a sleeve.
Or Jay-Z.
Okay. So... hop and skip away, but yes.
I believe that Jay-Z isn't making technological advances like
Musical
I'm talking about
advances.
that.
Elon Musk
money,
is he's sending spaceships up that come back down. Jay-Z's
So
dropping a
it's tech-
single.
So it's a tech thing.
Yeah, it's somebody that's
I
just a huge titan of industry. So he just owns a lot of shit.
Okay.
He's just a billionaire. It's like Bill Gates.
Is Jay-Z not...
I feel like Jay-Z owns a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what?
They're
Yeah,
on the
I
run.
mean, we don't really know what he owns, though. I know he owns the vodka. No, never mind. That's
P. Diddy.
Well,
Oh, I thought we were talking about Bancroft still.
no.
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z.
So we're going to say it's like a tech industry kind of...
That makes a difference.
Deal.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay, that explains it because Ortega didn't do her job right.
Yeah, she sure did.
But I do like when they, they're heading to Bancroft Industries and they go above the clouds.
Yeah, I
That's
like
how
that.
you know.
I was like,
That's how
okay,
you know.
all right. That's how you know
That's
you
where
made
the
it in life.
That's where the Mets live, right?
Hey, all the Mets get high, right?
Yeah, they get real high.
And it looks very beautiful. I was
It
like, look
does.
at that. And it's like, where is she going to land this? I was like, oh man, this is not going to go well. So I thought they were just going to float up a little bit, but she actually tried to land this spaceship looking car thing. And finally revealed to Takeshi that she is an officer.
Yeah, because he tells her his name and then she does a little like...
Yeah.
And like...
Look
she
me
has
up.
She has a thing in her eye, which I think that's pretty cool.
It's like Google Glass.
Yeah, basically, but it's right in your eye.
You can get high with that too, I think, right?
I know,
Takeshi did
later
something
on,
with
yeah,
it.
it's pretty...
Do a lot of things with the eye.
So she looks him up and realizes he's an envoy. Does she call him an envoy? Or is that just me understanding that
I
he's
think
an
she
envoy?
did.
She,
And
yeah.
She's like, and then she's like, that can't be.
They're all dead.
They're all
They're all dead,
all
and he's
dead.
like,
They all died in the war.
except one.
So Captain Obvious,
So, right?
Takeshi responds with that punk ass comment of just like, all right, we gotta see for yourself.
I know.
Why don't you Google me or whatever you guys do now?
So we meet Miriam Bancroft.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah,
What
we
do you
meet
guys think about Miriam Bancroft?
I like her dress.
couple characters emerge here.
Like her
Yeah.
dress there. I like that she doesn't like to wear a bra.
Yeah, so let's
She's very against that. And then we also meet the son, Bancroft's
Isaac.
son.
Yeah,
Which looks like he's gonna be trouble. I was like, all right, these two are gonna have key roles throughout the series. I feel like.
Yeah, we find out that Isaac, the son, was the one who was originally supposed to pick up Kovac.
Yes,
But
but he got drunk.
he got drunk.
There's no pill that. There's still no pill to sober you up, apparently.
I know all this time, and they still couldn't figure that out. Come
Can't think
on.
of that, huh? So
Do we know who the what?
I believe at this point that character though that was there, you meet Ortega's partner.
That's what I was
But I
gonna
don't
ask,
believe
yeah.
you know his name.
We don't
I
know
don't
his
think
name.
they don't say his name at this point.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
what I
I was like,
thought.
who's
I was
this
like,
old
I couldn't figure out his name or.
yeah,
I want to say it's like Abu or something like
I
that.
don't think it's. I think
I'm
he's Russian.
pretty close. No, I think
No,
he's Arab.
He's Arab. He speaks
He speaks Arabic.
later.
Oh, okay.
Which when we get to that scene, I'm gonna go deep into that because I was so highly confused by what was going on in the next few scenes. We'll see.
Okay. So the next scene we see Mrs. Bancroft giving Takeshi a little tour.
A little tour of this
and I
tree.
feel like
And she says, "Here's my Christmas tree that we've left up for 6 years.
I
Don't
feel
you
like
like
she
it?"
wants a tour of his body as well.
Oh, the sexual tension is overboard.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's just she
in that
just
elevator
is.
ride? Oh,
Clearly.
yeah. Like, they would have just...
I mean, nips exposed,
look
hard
at
nips.
this.
Went to the freezer section. Opened up, got some
How
popsicles.
cold is it in heaven?
It's pretty cold.
The air's thin up here, along with my diamond hard nips.
Basically.
Oh boy, yeah. She really wants to get something.
Oh, she wants it. I mean, we all saw his
He might have a DHF, but she's DTF, if you know what I'm saying.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Miriam basically tells him, it took several fortunes and lifetimes to get this tree. It's basically just like a whole, we're pretty rich
Yeah.
way of saying it.
Several.
Marion Bancroft is what they
Several
call her up here.
Okay, so they went up an elevator and he finally meets
Lawrence
Bancroft. Gives him a little book here, and it looks like a diary. Is that what it is? I'm confused
It's
too.
just
I was
like a
what is
notebook.
this?
I mean, we aren't really supposed to know exactly what was in it, but we just know that it belonged to Kel Falconer,
Okay.
who he worked under. And we could kind of tell it was that because he reacted very strongly to it when he was given it. Obviously, he had seen it before. We learn that they were around at the same time. Both of them were alive during the uprising. What do you guys think of Lawrence Bancroft?
He has a very familiar face, and then I IMDb'd him, and I'm like, well, I guess I've seen this around, the shows that he's on, but he hasn't. It doesn't look like he's done much, right? From what I remember.
He's got a couple things under his belt.
Yeah, a few things here and there.
mean,
So
I thought he was Thomas Jane, but then, I guess he's Thomas Jane's, long lost British brother or something.
yeah, he has a very familiar jawline. I was like, okay, he's handsome,
Yeah, when you look at...
right? I think he's handsome.
I think he is handsome.
That's my initial reaction. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the show. I believe he's one of the leads of Hap and Leonard on IFC. It's a show that's in my queue on Netflix to watch.
Okay.
And it's a show that you thought you wanted to watch because Thomas Jane.
Yeah, I literally put it in the queue because I said, "Oh, Thomas Jane." And then it was like, we watched it for 5 minutes. I said, "Wait, that's not Thomas Jane." I said, "Oh, that's Lawrence Bancroft."
So yeah, we find out how super rich he is. Giving Takeshi a full pardon here after his whatever job he's gonna do is done, and offering money and all that stuff.
Yeah, he basically tells him, I'll get your sentence reduced, you can be freed up to go into any sleeve that you want, and I'll pay you 50 million UN credits, which sounds, I guess, is a lot of money.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, kid, I'll make you a star."
Yeah, you can have any feature you want.
But then he's like, okay, here's here's what I'm gonna give you, and then Takeshi's like, come on, just tell me what I gotta do,
And then he's like, I want you to solve a murder. Who's mine?
I was like, all right, so
Yeah,
dramatic.
so this is the key. So to me, now there are two key parts, pivotal moments in this episode. There was the kind of concept, the science fiction concept of the sleeve, that idea right there, as well as, okay, so now it's like, all right, do you care about this guy's murder? Because if you don't, this is pretty much probably where you go, all right, flipping to Daredevil Season 2, or Jessica Jones Season 2, I think that just came out. So it's kind of like, if you're not down with the sleeving, or for some reason none of the characters have jived with you, this is kind of like, hey, this is what our story is going to be about, is this mystery murder.
I like a murder
this
mystery.
Yeah,
bougie
they should have
titan
shown
of
this
industry.
first. That would have been like, oh, okay, I found this more interesting than the other one.
Than all of the sleeving.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to just, unfortunately, with any pilot, they're trying to throw so many things in there to kind of build intrigue and all
and
that.
they're trying to get viewers.
Yeah.
Again, that's always the challenge with a pilot is trying to put everything into one episode, try to keep the viewer into it and wanting to watch more. But, sometimes you hit it out of the park and sometimes you don't.
Well, I think Netflix also has the trouble with the fact that their pilots really, in the typical sense, if you put a pilot on cable TV, you can kind of get the ratings, see what happened, and then you kind of say, all right, we'll give it 6 episodes or 10 episodes. Or you just go, all right, it's canceled. It's not going to happen. Netflix is kind of like, we got this pilot, but it's already been produced. They've already produced all these episodes. So this is big for them because they spend so much money up front on these shows that if they don't get, like, the Stranger Things following, the Orange is New Black, or even the... I didn't watch it, but House of Cards. I mean, that was kind of their first big hit. So yeah, this is big, definitely.
They're trying something new.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I mean, but Kovac seems kind of like pseudo intrigued here, not like I'm not feeling it.
I was like, you got murdered.
You learn kind of this idea of also a technology called needle casting that they kind of hinted at, and he explains what it was, and so he's kind of like, well, why don't you just. Well, how would you not know if you were dead and all this? And so...
he shows him that satellite that basically...
uploads his memory.
For every 48 hours. And we find out that, right before he was killed or, whatever happened, that the person killed him 10 minutes before the backup was going to happen. So he has no idea what had happened in the last 48 hours before he was killed. But, we learn again how rich he is because he was able to have a whole DHF backup, which apparently is very, very, very expensive. And his head was blown off, so meaning his stack was messed up, right?
No? So his stack was fine. His body was gone. His sacral sleeve. So he has multiple sleeves on himself. Because if his stack was messed up, he'd be dead.
I thought it was because there's a backup. That's why
it was like such a big deal. Like he was able to, because
I thought his stack was messed up, but it was backed up, so they were able to reproduce it.
It's like his whole head was blown off by a particle blaster.
That's what I thought. I don't know.
That's what I got from this was like, that's why it was. He's never met or Kovac has never met anyone who was able to do a full restore. Or was able to afford one like that, and he was able to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I might have been mistaken watching this scene. I guess I took it as that his head got blown off by we don't know who, or what,
but then
or when, or where, or why.
But then if his stack wasn't destroyed, he would have memory, right?
But everyone else has their memories. Like Kovac has memories from his past.
Well, the whole thing was with the 48 hours is that his backup. So what happened was that his backup happened. There was a window, and this is why the murder happened at this point in time. Was that he doesn't remember basically the last 48 hours because his backup was from 40 hours before. So the backup now is in his sleeve, or the consciousness in his sleeve. Cannot account for the 48 hours. That's why Kovac has been hired to figure out what happened in those 48 hours.
But Kovac was able to remember right when he died.
That's true. So
I don't know. I just feel like they made such a big deal about how expensive it was for him to be able to have this full restore. And I feel like if your head is blown off with a particle blaster, I feel like your stack's getting messed up.
Maybe not. Maybe Takeshi's head got blown off, but the stack is still fine.
Well, the stack's in your neck.
Yeah.
So during the orientation, they stress that, don't get blunt force trauma to the back of your neck.
So here would be okay.
Yeah, in your forehead is fine. I think, at least the way I interpret this, and I could be completely wrong, is that his last needle cast, or his last, we'll just say, iCloud backup was 48 hours ago. So when he died, or, we'll just say he died, the backup that he pulled from was 40 hours ago, so he didn't have the last 36 hours to do it. Now, he also talks about how at that time when his last needle cast went, or when he was trying to needle cast, or whatever it is, that somebody was trying to hack his data and all that, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's part of the mystery, though. It's kind of like, getting the pieces here about the needle casting, because this is a kind of a weird concept.
Yeah, so when you guys were first watching this, what did you think? Do you think he got murdered, or you think he killed himself?
No, I think a suicide is too...
Yeah.
He seems a little shady.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, something... Yeah, like he
thought it
screwed
was the
someone
wife?
over.
I thought it was the wife. I was like, oh, it's definitely the wife.
But then they brought up the fact that he and his wife are the only ones that have access to that gun in the safe. I'm like, that's too obvious if it's the wife then. Right?
Sure.
Or it's him or the wife. Like, it has to be something that we're here for how many ever episodes there are.
Right.
So yeah, like I just immediately had a feeling that it was neither of them.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't a suicide and it wasn't his wife.
My money was on the wife, but I guess I'll find out if I keep watching.
Yeah, I mean, at this point...
This was a turning point for me.
Right. If you're still in it to win
Yeah.
it, right?
Because, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, well, we don't know enough characters to really make a
That's
true
true.
verdict on anybody.
Like,
Yeah.
who would have beef against him? Like,
It was
I don't know.
Kovac. No,
Yeah, right. That would be a twist.
I killed you from my sleep.
I want your sleeve with that big penis. So I feel like the next episode is a turning point for me with Ortega's veins popping
Oh,
up.
where? Oh, the next
Oh,
scene.
the next scene. I was like,
next
wow, we're already on episode 2? Man, I guess we're sticking with it.
Oh, the next scene. I was like, okay, it's not a good look on her.
She's fired up.
Her vein looks like that tree of the Bangkok Industries.
That's what, 300 years old.
Several fortunes.
She has like a
in
very
lifetime.
thick accent. I mean, I understand everyone has an accent, but it's not as thick as hers. So I'm a little confused about that, but it's cool. And then here's a good scene where we find out that they can speak or they can understand each other.
See, this frustrated me.
Okay.
This is what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm like, okay, so basically in this scene, Ortega and her partner, who I don't believe still has been named at this point, he might have been named. I still think it's like a boo. I think it's a boo or something like
That's
that.
later on, though, but like in this episode, we still don't know his name.
But so Ortega is of Spanish descent, and she's speaking in Spanish, and she's fired up. And then her partner is speaking Arabic, and he's trying to calm her down. But like they clearly understand each other, yet then they're speaking English. So it's like everybody, I guess, in this future is bi/trilingual, maybe quadlingual. And I just find it's like, okay, like this is interesting because I've seen this in other things, and I'm just like, are we supposed to assume that everybody just speaks 4 languages? Because it's like, think about this. They're detectives, they're police officers, they're civil servants. So if we really break it down, like from a technical sense now, or just societal sense now, they're only like, they're not master's degrees or doctorates most likely. Like these guys are like maybe like cadets, not cadets, they're detectives now, but like they shouldn't be this, like they shouldn't be able to speak 4 or 5 languages. I'm not buying it. Maybe this is how the future is. Maybe I should be speaking 4 already. I'm just not buying it.
Their brains are just ingrained to understand.
I mean,
well, earlier, if you remember the scene with old Takeshi and Jaeger, they were speaking Japanese.
Now that you say
German,
that,
so that was 250
English.
years ago.
Yeah.
that's a good point, especially that when we saw Ortega activate her eye, her Google essentially, maybe she has Google Translate on there as well. Maybe that's how she could understand it.
Maybe.
Or maybe she speaks Arabic.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they never dug into it.
I mean, it happened
is
twice. It happened twice in this episode, so maybe it's a pivotal thing we learn more about later.
Not.
Or maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean, Takeshi Kovacs knowing multiple languages, I'm not...
That kind of sucks, though. You can't talk shit about other people.
Yeah,
not
in the elevator this time, folks. We're talking about Kovacs, though, with the German, is that, Takeshi is Japanese, and Kovacs is not German. It's definitely, like, Slavic, but being from Eastern Europe or that area, like, I can believe him knowing German from a Slavic language background than, say, I know Spanish and now I know Arabic. Like, I'm not buying those two personally, but that's just
I was
Okay.
very confused about the whole Kovac. It doesn't sound like like if he's an Asian guy, I didn't think like that's a typical last name. So
Yeah,
I was
well-
very confused about it.
Wait,
At
okay.
first.
I guess they'll dig into that later from the looks in your faces.
I don't want to give too many things away.
So yeah, this is a pivotal point for me for other reasons. I was like, okay, I can't with this girl. I really can't.
So really, you two really dislike her that much?
Okay.
Because I know
I
that
don't
MJ
like
here does not like her almost at all.
I mean, so far, the only thing I liked about her was when I started episode 2 and she was in her underwear. And that's only because I didn't think it was her. And then they zoomed into her face and her veins. And I'm like, no.
Man, tough crowd.
But like,
You thought this was going to be a sci-fi podcast, huh?
Yeah, I'm over here talking about philosophical themes and motifs, and we're talking about
No.
her veins.
yeah, her tree veins that took several lifetimes and several fortunes. No, that entire scene was just like, wow, you're really annoying.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. Something's up with
And
this
she's
guy
always
that
so
you're
stressed.
you're-
Like, for
there's-
no reason.
yeah, like you're so fired up. Like, oh, this is so important to me, girl. We get it. All right,
You
relax,
got it, girl.
man.
Yeah, it's like we get that there's clearly some type of
There's
interest from
something,
her,
exactly,
but we
like
don't
she's-
have any idea,
I
they
just-
don't really express it at all.
I think I just didn't I didn't feel like her fired upness was like.
Necessary.
I just
Appropriate.
don't think it came out the way it should have. Like, it just wasn't acted well. I think that's what it
And she
is.
keeps saying like puta dis, like Spanish.
I get
I'm
it.
like, okay, we got it. All right.
Puta calma.
Wait, she's Spanish now? Like, I mean, her last name's Ortega.
Oh man, but yeah. So anyway, next character, I guess. So we still really haven't. We still don't know a lot of things about a lot of different characters here. I feel like they're really concentrating on Takeshi. So Takeshi keeps having flashbacks of when he was younger.
Yeah, the episode is just all over the place. I mean,
It
let's
is.
be real. That it is all over the place. We got flashbacks. We got voices in people's heads.
There's
Yeah,
two
people
moons
We got
in there.
two Asian children running around on some type of planet that
Is
isn't
this Earth?
is not Earth. Definitely not. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. But who knows? In the world of altered
And
carbon.
the grown-up Takeshi's sister looks very familiar.
Yes, she's from Agents of Shield.
Oh,
If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D..
Well, I've seen the previews.
She was the Inhumans leader over there.
Yeah, so we saw that he's contemplating and reminiscing about old life, or
Would you guys need a moment to think about that offer, or would you go for it?
I would go for it. I'm like, what do I have to lose? It's either this or back in that slimy, slimy goo.
Slimy
there.
bag.
Slimy bag.
Yeah, I mean, you give me the opportunity to be like a millionaire /
Yeah.
billionaire, and all I gotta do is solve your bougie ass murder mystery. All right, sign me up. Who done it?
Sure, what would you do? You're like, screw it. Take me back in the bag.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. We later see the scene with Ortega and Kovac, after his drug trip, which I'm sure we'll get right back into. But when they're talking over drinks, she tells him that because she wasn't able to solve his murder, that he's basically made her life like a living hell and tried to mess with her career and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah, like how?
I know. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, with that...
Is that
I
why
mean,
she's so hyped up all the time? It's messing with her career.
I think though, back to just the pilot, I'm gonna tie this into what you were just saying right there. I think this is where being a Netflix pilot, it's a little more confusing because the writers know that they can kind of throw out these ambiguous questions of like, who's that character? Who's this? What's the next step? Because you already know there's an episode 2.
Yeah.
Whereas like with other companies,
With
it's kind of like,
networks.
we don't know if we're gonna get an episode 2.
Right, we have to wait for
Yeah.
the ratings to see if our show.
I guess they're trying something new here.
So they really just throw out a bunch of questions, like you just said about Ortega's career. We're like, well, what happened? Like,
Right.
and who killed Bancroft, and who is Takeshi Kovacs, and well, what the hell is his sister real? Is she not real? Is this a figment of? I mean, you kind of get it's a figment of his imagination at the time, but is she a real
Where is she?
character?
Yeah.
Is
like,
she alive?
Yeah.
How did they separate?
is this a one-off scene?
Right.
And then we see a glimpse of the future. He's walking around, and
I mean, clearly this is where I want to be. It's damp. It's
Yeah,
raining.
let's-
Everybody,
yeah,
I
let's
guess
go back to this.
the futuristic eating device, and I just go back to this. Not eating device. I'd say the dish of choice is always in Blade Runner it was ramen, in Altered Carbon it's ramen. I'm sure you could go to another future cyberpunk types that we could probably call Ghost in the Shell, and it's ramen. But like you just see everybody's always chowing down on ramen. I don't get it. I guess it's street food, so that's what they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was always a big scene in Blade Runner is when Dick Deckard's sitting there eating ramen and he gets interrupted by the guy that becomes his partner.
now I want ramen.
I know. Now you bring that.
But meanwhile, everybody
Thanks for
in the
triggering
scene,
that.
everybody it's dark, it's dirty, it's damp, but everybody's rocking your shorts and pink hair and gas masks and all sorts of cyber cool futuristic outfits.
Well, they do have new drugs in the future,
I know
so that's
drugs,
interesting.
but drug dealers are still a thing, and they're still shady as hell.
Yeah, I'm not a drug guy, but I would definitely say that I was intrigued by the unicorn backpack full of
loved it.
rainbow-colored drugs.
And it's lit.
Yeah.
The backpack is lit up, so I
Super lit.
really like that.
The drug dealers, he's like offering all this drugs, and Kovacs is like, I'll take them all.
Yeah.
He just walks around with this cute little backpack. I love it.
Yeah, and Kovacs has all this money because Bancroft said, like, hey, I'll pay your expenses as you solve my mystery. And he hasn't
didn't
agreed.
agree.
He hasn't
He
agreed.
still has
but
a night to think
He
about
still has
it.
a night, so he's got a night in the town,
Right.
It's a DNA trace.
But then he's like, no, I want to go back in the back. I think he just decided, right? For
Yeah, I mean,
for
he
the better
basically
part of the
said,
night,
I'm
I'm gonna live it up.
do some drugs,
Yeah.
get laid, and that's it.
Eyedroppers.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and it kicks in right away. That's
I know.
what's
I did.
great about it.
I really did love this scene. Like it's like just beautifully shot.
Yeah,
Which is a lot of this whole episode is just beautifully shot.
yeah, and then when the AI stuff,
Oh yeah.
the hologram starts. I was like, oh yeah, turning point. I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, though, he, not to get confused with the drugs aren't what cause these visions.
I think
it's
these
that,
are advertisements, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
he takes this device and he basically plugs it into his
His
eye.
eye, yeah.
And that's basically he's installing Google Glass into his
Yeah,
eye.
he's getting what Ortega
He was
had
using.
that we saw earlier,
Right.
which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, or most
Yeah.
or everyone
I
has.
think it's
because
almost
you
kind of just
kinda need
common.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the drugs just enhance everything around him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's just-
interesting.
And all
Titties
the
everywhere.
the
now
titties.
we're
and-
talking 250 years later.
Technology.
Yeah, tell me about the sexual experiences I can have 250 years from now.
So he sees prostitutes, hookers, he sees monsters
aliens fighting.
Just he sees a whole array of stuff.
And then he sees
Oh,
Ortega.
And
God,
then here goes
what?
Ortega just ruining all the fun all over
Buzzkill
again.
Ortega.
Just
Lieutenant
Buzzkill.
Buzzkill.
Lieutenant Buzzkill. She is. Oh,
Sean's
Lieutenant
not agreeing
BK.
with us. She's like, I like her.
I mean, I think like I'm like looking at her character from like the writing perspective, and it's like she's got to like funnel the. She's got to keeping him on track as a character sense, like But she's annoying. Don't get me wrong. She's annoying, but she's a strong female lead, and she's trying to do her thing. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I can't say it from that point of view. But from my point of view,
So
Few
far, I didn't
women
see any
here.
strength.
I mean, I think that she's just trying
Buzz
to.
kill.
stress.
I see Buzz getting killed.
Once again, I think it's just kind of the Netflix like first episode syndrome, where it's like throwing out all these ideas, and you're like, well, okay, well, clearly there's got to be some relationship, whether it be the case. Does she know this person? Does she not know this person?
Stalker.
Is she just into him? Like, does she just want to do him? Like, we don't know. But
All of
she
the above.
unfortunately serves her purpose.
It says she gave him a broadcast blocker.
I know, just ruined his fun.
Blocked all those pop-ups.
Yeah,
Also
basically.
a cock blocker, looks like.
It's a pee blocker.
Oh boy, but yeah, so now they go for the drink.
Right. This is what I was talking about earlier. So this is, we kind of get to learn more about Ortega. She's not as annoying here, but still,
she's less annoying.
Yeah.
Because
nice.
Takeshi is the one that picked the spot. I was like, okay, cock blocker.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna pick the location. Okay,
they're at the
I don't want
strip
you to
club
take
doing
me.
their thing.
He knows what's up.
I really like the
She
strip
can't
club
ruin it.
scene that they kind of get your imagination and projects.
for you.
That's pretty cool. So I'm down with that future.
So yeah, like he basically, that envoy intuition, he was able to figure out that she was on the Bancroft case before, and she, as he said, fucked it up. And then we learned that, she was. And ever since then...
I think everyone would figure that out.
Yeah.
It's like Captain Obvious and Lieutenant Cockblocker over here. Right? I'm like, you're following me. I've only been alive for, in this new sleep for, what?
Few
couple
hours.
So I think you got a beef with Bancroft.
And you go into the residence, and they all don't want you there.
Doesn't take envoy intuition or whatever the heck.
So yeah, she wasn't able to solve that murder, and he's apparently just making her life hell in ways we don't really know yet. But messing with her career, which is
I kind of like
everything
Bancroft
to her.
already.
And it's a good, when you slow down the scene, you actually see, how many drinks that Kovac is punished. If you look in the clip right now, you can see the fact that it looks like he's at least had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots between the two of them. So, he's throwing them back.
Is this last night?
And I guess his liver, he's just, he's already got 6 different drugs in him, 8 shots,
He's a big guy.
He is a big guy.
Big boy.
Do you think they figured out how to cure or prevent hangovers?
If they... No.
Nah,
I
it's
say no.
for the rich people only.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he's got the drug because, he's rich for the night.
True.
Yeah.
But this is actually a good scene because I think what we were kind of debating earlier is that if you go back, the actual line says he blew his stack out. So, yeah, I guess he did blow his stack out. So then... But then it comes back to that the memories of his were 40 hours before that actual death.
The backup, right.
So
Right.
the backup, so the backup's an old
That's
backup.
what I thought. Because,
You don't have your photos from that night, your video clips, anything like that on your iCloud backup.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because there was no way that they would make such a big deal about how much it costs to be able to have a full restore DHF or, whatever. So yeah, now that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Lieutenant Buzzkill again keeps talking about stuff here, random stories. I'm like, this is my last night. I'm trying to have fun. I don't want to hear about, bodies getting dumped in the bay.
But it brings up with the body in the bay. It seems at first when you kind of hear it, you're kind of like, oh, this is a quick comment.
Right.
But it brings back to that 653 thing we talked about and the Coco fans or the Coco protesters. This idea of the neo-Catholics, not if you're a neo-Catholic and you get killed, you can't be spun up to talk about who killed you. So this is another kind of tangent plot point that we don't know what the deal is.
I figured she wasn't just blabbing. This is just...
It's probably everything she's saying.
That's how she flirts. She just
really
blabs.
Important. I don't feel any sexual tension like the elevator scene.
No,
from
definitely
this.
not. Especially when he said, "Are you a moron or just an asshole?"
Well, he does kind of try to hit on her,
And then he looks at the
and then
he looks at the screen and says, "It's working.
On by intuition.
And she's like, "Oh, you're such an asshole."
I've got her where I want her."
But basically, after that whole talk, he tells her that he turned down the offer to solve the Bancroft case, and he's just ready to go back on ice. He's done.
But he's got a fuck before he does that.
Yeah, totally.
So
does.
she's
He's
not
like,
down.
And he proposes to her and says, like, hey, you know, when the sleeves
You know
on the
where I
slab, that the hormones still build up, you trying to, like, get down? And she's like, in your dreams, asshole.
Yeah, she kept calling him an asshole. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you take him up on his offer?
Not with that girl.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Would you take?
I'm sorry. I was expecting you to ask me something else.
Would
What
you
was
take
that?
him up on that offer?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Why not? It's the last, last night on Earth or wherever they are.
But if
Yeah,
you were Ortega,
probably not. She's so stressed all
Yeah,
the time,
can't. She's
Yeah.
gonna start speaking Spanish and Arabic and German.
I mean, she probably needs to get laid though. She's so stressed.
Oh, that's so true. That's probably what it is, and there's no one there to do it for her.
Yeah. I'm
Her
sure.
loss.
Yeah. Would you do it?
Oh.
Me, no. I, would,
Oh.
I wouldn't bang Takeshi Kovacs if
No,
that's what we're
you
asking.
wouldn't.
How about Ortega?
I mean, he's Takeshi Kovacs, or Joe Kinnear is a very...
Joe Kinnear.
Kinnear, yeah, Kinnaman, right?
Greg Kinnear's brother.
You getting nervous,
yeah, I'm getting hot and bothered.
He's thinking about that shower scene.
Yeah. No need to tell us your
It's
answer.
a Kinnaman, right?
I think it's
It's Kinnaman, right?
He's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
he's
Kinnaman.
clearly a good-looking guy. He could get laid in this world, but Ortega's definitely not taking a bite. She's not getting the bait.
She's like, I'm not kidding that man.
I mean, I find Ortega attractive because I think, like, when I saw her in her outfit, I'm like, okay, clearly, like, she's got.
Is it the authority figure?
Well, no, it's she's got
What
this.
is
You know,
it?
she's clearly got a tight bod, like, but also you can tell that.
Her mouth.
You can tell that her
needs to be
boobs have
tighter.
got to be pretty. I feel like looking at her, I'm like, all right, you're gonna have some nice boobs under that shirt because it's like you can tell that she might even be rocking some type of like tight bra to like hold these bad boys in. I'm just saying.
Okay. I can't get past her face. All right.
I don't think her face is that bad.
It's a butterface.
Butterface? Nah, it's not that bad.
Baby.
She's like a very, I believe in Mexican acting, she's a very big, like, sexy superstar down there.
I hope she doesn't listen to our podcast.
She's like Lito
We
from
might change her minds.
Sense 8, so.
We might change her minds about you.
Oh, she is definitely
I'm just saying, like,
not
I
the
think she,
female equivalent.
I
of
think
Lolita.
in the Mexican
Oh,
Hollywood,
No,
the Mexican
nope. We're getting off track. We're gonna cut this.
Look, I'm just saying, she's hot.
Oh no.
This
Can't
is
compare
it.
with Lido.
Does she love this being on our podcast? We shut you down when you don't agree with our
fine.
opinion.
It's like I'm supposed to talk about sci-fi stuff here. I don't understand why we're talking about who I'm gonna have sex with.
I
These are the
mean,
hard-hitting
Yeah,
questions.
it is.
This is what we talk about on this podcast.
I'd let her blow my stack, you know.
Oh.
Oh boy! All right.
Ooh.
Anyways, on to the next scene.
So he tells. So he tells.
So he tells Ortega that he's going
gonna
to this,
stay at
like, the Raven, and she
the
goes,
Raven Hotel.
oh.
That's an AI hotel.
So once again, another concept
Another
that
thing
you're
we're
thrown
like,
into, and you're going like, what?
What? What's an AI hotel?
Yeah, and then he's like, no one has stayed here in 5 decades.
Yeah, so 50
Yeah.
years, this guy, which the Raven, it's got a big Raven on it, and the character
And
walks
the guy
in.
looks like Poe.
He's it's supposed to be
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
So represent Baltimore. And it's just one of these kind of interesting things. And once again, to me, it's like it's science fiction, so it's throwing a concept out at the viewer. So you already got sleeving, and now you've got artificial intelligence run hotels, and you've got needle
DHF,
casting and DHF.
restores.
And then you got what kills you, what doesn't kill you, how do you come back, you got lease sleeves, so you got a lot of stuff going on. And once again, I think that for a pilot's sake, like, I think for the average viewer who might not be into sci-fi, I think this is getting too extreme for them.
Yes, I agree with that.
And along with, Ortega's butterface, clearly, guys, it's just not bringing everybody back to the table. But of course, with me, like in science fiction, I was like, ooh, another concept. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Mine's
Ooh,
like,
a piece
oh
of
my
candy.
God,
Like, let me get some
I'm
more.
so
Yeah.
stressed.
You know what's funny though? It's like we're we're finally getting to the hotel, and you kind of know, like, the episode's kind of almost done. And then they introduce more stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, when is this gonna end?
So he makes it to the Raven Hotel.
And he's like, I'm just trying to get laid.
He basically.
He's like, oh,
I mean, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
That's what anyone would do, I think.
Right. He's
In
ready
his
to...
situation, he's
Exactly.
ready to go
It's his
back
last
in.
night.
And this artificial intelligence tells him that he can tantalize his taste buds with any type of decadent sexual experience he
Wow,
wants.
that's verbatim there.
That's the customer service I like.
And I think he even did like a little hand motion, like almost like kind of like, you know, if you were to like
Really?
put somebody's
Balls are gonna
balls in your
tickle?
I
hand.
didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Or, he said something about the devices that he could use.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard about that they do that, you know, today at some massage parlors, right?
That's what I heard. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah, you're
know.
just done in like 90 seconds. I mean, I haven't been rumor on the street.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So he's ready to, you know, stay at this place, get his rocks off, and then we have new people coming into the place and knowing who he is.
More
and
characters.
More characters.
I
We
know,
need
that's
to
great.
find out who this is, and they know who he is. But he doesn't know who they are. They're a bunch of Russians.
So obviously they want him killed, and it's probably because of Bancroft.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
that's the only thing we can
thing.
think
That's
of.
all we know.
That's the only thing going on. You know, so
I mean, is that did they want to kill him? Because I feel like they just wanted to take him.
Yeah, I think what
Right?
happens is they want to take him, but he's kind of being his nonchalant, like, who the fuck are you guys?
Yeah.
Whatever, you can take me or not. So it kind of entices them or agitates them to beat him up a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then like they just keep challenging him. You know, like, this is all you got. We expected more from you. You being this. Do they call him an envoy?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think that
But
he
like
just...
they kind of allude to like we thought you'd be bigger than you are. Like they
Yeah,
know
that's-
something
that's
about
right.
him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
They know
right.
something about him, but they keep challenging him. They beat him up a little bit and just want him to fight back, but he's just like.
And how come he's not? I was like, how come he's not fighting back? I mean, he's got to have a plan here. Like,
He's just like doesn't care.
Well, they start to show the plan, because that's why they
Right.
keep flashing to Poe, where
Poe
it
is
says,
telling him, like,
they
you know,
want guests. And,
Awaiting payment.
Yeah.
Awaiting payment.
and you
then-
remember it's like what Ortega said. They're hardwired to want guests.
Yeah, and then so finally, you know, he's getting beat up a little bit, and Kovac finally goes over to the payment screen, and it basically activates, you know, that he's a guest, and he gets all the full amenities that a guest gets.
That's pretty cool.
I know, I thought
Yeah.
this was so cool.
Yeah.
So he actually allows himself, his plan or his envoy intuition here is to allow him, he hears kind of the payment, give me payment, that type of thing
Yeah.
from Poe, and he allows himself to get beat up so he can get some blood.
Mm-hmm.
That then he slams on the screen at some point, which allows the DNA trace to the bank, which that then gives the confirmation, and that's when all of a sudden machine guns come out, and
Yeah,
Poe whips
that
out
was
some
awesome.
pump shotgun, and
Yeah,
people
so
just start
awesome.
getting blown away.
I really like this
Very
scene.
awesome.
I mean, blood's everywhere.
Finally, Netflix.
Yeah.
People
I was
getting
like-
zapped.
This is like so exciting.
Yeah, this was a really good scene. So everything's get blown up, and then he starts fighting. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
started fighting. I was like, finally, we get to see him fight. I'm like, yeah, show me the moves.
And then I like when he was like trying to beat up someone, and then the gun was pointing at him, and then it's trying to like locate the people.
Yeah, who
people that
is it
were-
going to?
Yeah, so they're trying to kill him. I mean, trying to kill the other people. So that's pretty awesome.
So basically, all of the crew are shot up and dead except this leader, this Russian leader. Kovac is trying to find out, you know, who sent him or where did he come from, and then, you know, Poe just had to blow him away.
Yep. He's like, you know, I gotta protect
like-
my guests.
Right?
My
what am I
only
gonna
guest
do?
for
Just-
5 decades? He's
gotta-
so excited.
I know he's so. He's like, so finally some action. And then here goes.
Oh,
you know,
here goes
And here
Lieutenant
comes
Buzzkill.
Ortega.
Yet
enter
again.
Ortega. I'm like, man, it's just like you're so obsessed with me.
What a stalker.
Are there multiple Ortegas? She can be in multiple places at one time.
Oh, they
Speaking
did
of
refer
that,
to that, so it could
You
be.
bring up a point.
Oh, another science fiction
Another
concept.
thing we learn.
It's a lot of sci-fi stuff, sci-fi concepts going on.
Right. So Ortega and her partner, which we still don't know what his name is, they ID the leader as Dmitry Cadman, who was like someone I guess they'd been looking for. He illegally downloads like his stack into the black market to double sleeve, which is another concept we're learning about.
Okay. That I understand, but why would you do that? You want to be in the same place?
It was like
Or two different
I think
places
they
at
said like he doesn't. This Dmitry guy doesn't trust anyone, so this is why he kind of just puts himself out there without having to actually be out there.
Is that what's going on? I mean, Sean.
Demi the twin,
Or guess
our
sci-fi
sci-fi
person.
enthusiast here.
Yeah, so
that I don't understand.
I mean, they go through the double sleeve concept, and it definitely just seems like you. I believe it's just I've downloaded my consciousness. I've needle casted essentially,
Right.
and then I've taken that needle cast and put it in another body.
So that
So it's like I'm a
it doesn't
clone,
affect me.
essentially. Yeah.
Like I'm good. No one can touch me, but I can go get my stuff from wherever.
Okay.
So it's almost like this is like to me the true like Dimitri or Demi is the idea of like I can be in two places at one time.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they get this guy and they take his stack, which they find out has been, kind of damaged, and they get mad at Poe for that.
Poe's like, I'm just trying to protect them.
There's not enough left on his stack to actually interrogate him.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile the police just like literally take a knife, rip out his neck, and just like pull out his stack. Like it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, we're just gonna rip out your stack. Don't worry about it. That's cool. And I looked it up just so that we could all be sure. His name is Abood, not a boo.
Oh,
it's
close enough.
Abood.
Yeah, that's very close. Good job.
Well, I was still wrong, just like Ortega.
Yes, he's on our side. Yeah, so we kind of learn about that concept. Another thing we have to get into with this show. But we learn that, the penalty for double sleeving is real death. But the fact that they don't have enough on that stack to interrogate Dmitri, which means that they can't really...
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Their whole theory was, oh, well, now that if we get this stack, we can then capture the real Dmitri, and then we can actually interrogate him because we have his double stack.
Exactly.
Wendy's double stack. Get it? They're legal. And in 250 years, double stacks from Wendy's are illegal.
But, yeah, it's one more concept yet again. I was like, all right. And I'm like right here looking at the time. I was like, all right, we have 8 minutes left. What else can they introduce in this 8 minutes? So here's Takeshi just trying to have a good night, but everyone's trying to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. He's just, I've had
He's
it.
like, I'm
I
done.
got my backpack.
I got my backpack, my drugs. I'm going to my room.
Clearly, with his unicorn backpack, fan of the New Day from WWE. He's all excited. Or My Little Pony, either one.
One of them.
It is a little pony.
Oh yeah, it's a unicorn, man. He's got the horn and everything.
Wow.
I'd rock that backpack. I mean,
It's really cute. But Ortega, is trying to go after him, but her partner's like, let him. Just leave it.
Leave him alone.
Gosh,
I've bothered him enough for the night.
Goodness. So basically, Kovac is ready to go, and he's ready to kind of give up.
Yeah.
ready to go get his
essentially,
D wet. He's go upstairs and have the sexual decadence taken to his room still, I thought. But, that changes. That changes
we never
quickly.
know what happened after.
So as he is about to go retire to his room and call it a night, finally, after no more interruptions, he is having more flashbacks to former Takeshi. This really threw me in for a loop because I was like, this isn't the Asian dude I saw.
Oh, I didn't
Earlier?
realize that. I was just so...
Yeah, so
That's
this is...
weird.
This threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, did they miscast or did they not realize we got the right Asian guy? I was like, Oh man!
I thought he looked a little weird, but I mean, I don't know. I was like,
Even Taz thought he was weird looking.
Taz also, was
he
thrown
can
for
curse.
a loop. He was like, "Who is this other
Said, who
person?"
the hell is this guy?
So for while you're basically almost at the finish line of this episode, you're throwing another thing. Like, who is this guy? This isn't who we saw.
Goodness. I just realized
this
that.
isn't the guy we saw getting shot up by Jaeger in the beginning.
Yeah, you get it's like.
Did everyone get that besides me?
Mystery after mystery. I think when I saw it originally, I was like, okay, like, so who, like, it was just like, is this a friend? Is this him? Like, clearly this is some type of flashback or memory, but like, I don't know.
I thought maybe it was him a little younger, because they have the same build and everything.
One's 6'4" and white, and one's like 5'10" and Asian.
No.
Oh, you mean the other Asian ones? Okay, I got you. Taz gets you too.
So basically, this other Asian Takeshi, I guess.
Okay. Wow.
He flashes back to him of being in this forest with lots of like ashy smoke,
fire,
and he's kind of seeing that as he's going up in the elevator in present time. And it's just leading him more and more to kind of figure out what he wants to do with his life currently. And we do have the clip that you wanted to talk about, AJ.
Yeah, the very last part, Netflix got really deep on us, so I feel like it really gave it a purpose. It really like hooked you in, for me at least. And I was like, all right, I want to find out what their mission is.
They said at this point, if you're not in, this is gonna get you in.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch this clip.
250 years is long enough. Move on.
No. You hear me? Not ever.
And do what you were born to do. What I trained you to do. Make things change.
By saving a man?
There's more here than you're willing to see. It's not the threat. It's the unanswered question. The mystery that needs to be solved. The box that needs to be unlocked. Envoys take what is offered, Doc. Take this chance. This is how you finish the mission.
Without you.
Finish the mission.
So she convinces him to take the mission.
But you kind of get like how in love with her he was.
That was kind of cute, right?
Huh.
I mean, is it cute? He kind of shoots up drugs before, but I think that was just so that the actor could cry. Like, because after he puts the drop in his eye, the tear comes down. So that was clearly so he couldn't cry in the scene, so he needed to cry somehow. So they said, here, take some more drugs. I think it just brings more questions. And I think it's just kind of like, okay, well, who's this character? Okay, we know she's dead. But we're kind of like, okay, what's her deal? Right.
And if you weren't watching with captions, you wouldn't know if she was Kel. I mean, it says.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Because they don't really clearly say that that's her character, but captions is spoiler alert.
Yeah,
good
like
thing
you could
I have a caption on.
Right.
Like, especially the way it is, it's like throughout the episode you see this character, but at the same time it's like, well, he can be re-sleeved. Like maybe this character's re-sleeved when he's sitting on the bridge and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna get messed up." Luckily, the character on the bridge or the figment of his imagination says, "Oh, Big Brother." So you kind of know that it's not his sister, but there's a quick way you could actually you could get very confused in the show very fast.
Yeah, totally. But then I remember from the first scene because he was like kind of dreaming of her.
Yeah, thinking about her. All throughout the episode you get flashes of her. But yeah, it's just more of we want to know what exactly was the relationship and how did it become what it is, where he's still longing for her and is ready to go down because he can't be with her.
I can't do this without you.
You know, she's like, move on, man. It's been 250 years. Just like move on.
Yeah, and I mean, she was.
Oh, and Netflix throws as a love story, of course. if I can't take you in with all the other stuff I've thrown in,
Here's a love story for you, just to reel you in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ortega wasn't good enough. We'll give you Angelica Schuyler from Hamilton.
For all those, you know.
Yeah, the only like real kind of reference you had to, or you had at the beginning of the episode itself, you have when Bancroft gives him this journal that's handwritten. He's like, oh, that's from the Falconer herself, and it's like, oh, by your reaction, you must know.
Yeah.
So it's like clearly there's a relationship there, but it's like now you see her more. But like, yeah, you kind of don't. Once again, a character introduced with we have zero idea what the motive is here, other than just he was in love with her.
Right, and then
That's really it.
I'm still thrown for a loop for the second Asian dude. Like, who?
Yeah,
like if I'm watching it for the first time, like who? I would have been really like, what?
I would
Did
say
they mess up?
I guess the execution.
Did the other character did something bad? That's why they have to replace it, like a Sense8 guy?
Yeah, right? This is Netflix, right?
The execution of the actual like episode, I think, just like from start to finish, reminded me of something I'd watched on like Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
Like this episode was like very network TV-ish. Like it wasn't well put together. There was too much. It felt really rushed. A lot of things felt rushed. It was like, okay, all right, give him the setting. Now give him this character. Oh, now it's a different character. Oh no, wait, is it the same character? You don't know. New concept. Is he in love with this girl? Is this girl dead? Who is this girl? Like all this, and you're just like,
literally what was going on in my
holy
brain.
smokes.
And I hope it stops soon.
I mean, luckily
Made
for
me wanna throw a whole stack
sci-fi,
out.
if you're into mysteries and you kind of want to know everything about it, you go, oh, I'm interested in this world. This is where I go, okay, yeah, stick with it. But if you're just like, oh, this is too in-depth. Like, because there's other shows that are in-depth. Like, Game of Thrones is very in-depth, but it's very captivating to watch from, I think, start to finish.
Easily.
This is kind of like, okay, you see Ortega, then you see, or actually, I'm sorry, you see Marion Bancroft, you see Ortega, and then you see some Asian girl on the bridge, and then you see this black woman, and you're like, who the hell are these people?
They're rushing it like they're not going to have a season 2.
Yeah.
Who's this Russian guy?
Yeah,
we do
this
learn
Russian
the
guy's
guy,
being
but
rushed.
It comes out of nowhere when we thought he was ready to retire for the night. Man.
Just can't get that, a little piece there, for his last night. That's my issue.
I know we don't know much about the show, but who's your favorite character?
White Takeshi. It's Slim Pickens. Really, it's really Slim Pickens. Oh, actually, I take that back. I like Lawrence Bancroft. I like that, he's rich.
Because he reprimands
Ortega. That too.
Holding her back, folks. Holding her back.
Messing with her career.
Yeah. Because, she can't figure it out. Figure her life out. Yeah. I think he's my favorite.
Lawrence.
Yeah. Again, Slim Pickens.
Yeah, I think there's just not a lot to really go off of here, and I think that's
first impression.
First impressions.
I mean, first impressions. It's like I've never liked characters that just are like Takeshi Kovacs immediately. Like I'm so over this. Like, okay, what do you like, the emo guy or like the smoker skateboarder at high school sitting at his car? He doesn't go to class. Like, nah, you're not cool, bro. It's like, at least Lawrence Bancroft's like, I've got this idea that I want you to take a look at. And it's like, he speaks with this like, oh yeah, I mean, he's the only one that I feel like, oh, this is actually a character.
Right.
Like what's his purpose? I could sit there and say, he's a dude, he's a billionaire, he's 260 years old, he got killed. Takeshi Kovacs, I go, okay, you're Asian, then white, then Asian, and then...
And you got envoy intuition.
You're an envoy, which I got no idea. You look like a poor man's Daredevil, if you ask me. And then I'm confused. And then all the women, it's like, okay, they're not likable, you didn't get enough, you don't get enough about them, or you don't know who's who. I mean, we don't know. I mean, these could be Riesleys, people that don't, I don't know. It's just,
that's true. There
could
be a bunch of Ortegas. Oh, God.
Your life just flashed
If I
before
see
your
another
eyes.
Ortega, I swear to God, I'm going to stop watching it.
I like Poe.
Poe is, I think Poe and Bancroft are definitely the two most likable characters in episode 1.
Agreed.
Definitely.
So yeah, toward the end, he gets a tattoo. I'm guessing Takeshi had on his former body.
And he wants to see it. And the tattoo is really fast. Like
I know, it's so fast.
I like that.
I bet it's very fast to take off too. I bet.
Sure, yeah.
Technology. And he calls Bancroft and tells him he'll take the case.
Just like that.
And
Mind change.
of episode.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
And then cue the flaming credits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the great thing about our podcast is we don't have to commit through the whole season.
Right.
So if I don't want to watch it, I can stop at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So, having said that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue watching this.
Okay.
And what reason? I guess if you had to give one or two reasons why, what's the nail in the coffin for you?
There's just so many other shows that I'm more into.
It's not a priority
than this. Yeah,
that's fair.
It's just it's a lot of stuff going on, and that I don't want answers.
Lots of questions you don't want answers to.
Questions, yeah. I mean, I think if I'm like, done with all the shows I'm catching up on, I'm like, all right, I'll revisit that show.
Yeah,
maybe.
So it's a maybe.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe for me.
I'll circle back.
I mean, I did start episode 2. I got about halfway through it, and then I got busy.
Then you saw Ortega's butterface, and you were just done.
Just can't. I can't.
And once you knew that woman's body was Ortega, you were just like,
I was like, God, how can he trick me like that?
You felt betrayed by Netflix.
Yeah. So overall, are we doing the rating?
Yeah, it's great now. Yeah.
I would give it a C, but I'm not a big sci-fi person, so.
So like you guys do an A to F scale here.
Yeah.
Or how many pilot wings does it get? Pilot cockpits.
Ooh,
I like
should
that.
be pilot wings. Yeah.
How many pilot wings out of
I like
5?
that.
How many wings?
Yeah.
So so a C gets you what?
Why
Like
we have
2 wings.
2.5 wings.
2.5 wings.
2 wings and a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
Complimentary.
Maybe a drink.
no, just a water.
Maybe a drink with a voucher.
Tap water.
Yeah, tap water.
So yeah, I give it 2.5 pilot wings. I think it's gonna be a one and done season. I feel like you guys mentioned earlier, it's just too much money is going into this show. I'm not sure if I don't think it's gonna get renewed. That's my prediction. I'm getting mixed reviews from everyone that's seen the whole season. Everyone really liked it. I mean, some really liked it, and some were like, kind of just want to binge something. So I binged it. So that's my take on that. How about you guys? Well, that's different because you guys saw the whole season already. So I don't know.
Well, we would just grade on just this episode then. John?
Yeah, I would say that based off the first episode, if you're not a fan of sci-fi, it's definitely not a show that probably should continue. It's I think 10 episodes, maybe 10 or 12.
It's 10.
Is it 10?
Okay. I think it's 10.
So
that'd be
10 episodes, so you got 10 hours basically of show, give or take.
That's a lot of commitment.
It's 11.
I think it is more than 10, honestly.
I think it's 11.
I just think that for the average person, we'll just say a casual fan, they're probably not going to be too into this show. There's too many concepts. There's some concepts that are kind of complicated for someone who might not be really experienced with sci-fi.
There's 10 episodes.
I like the main character, Joel Kinnaman. I like him. I like the actor. I would continue this with my personality being a hardcore sci-fi fan.
Okay.
Because I like the kind of the thought experiment that sci-fi brings to the table. However, if you're a casual fan, you're just looking for something to watch. This is not what you're going to turn to. It's not a cohesive story for the most part. Definitely episode 1 is definitely not cohesive because you don't know what's going on. But yeah, my overall takes, I'd give the pilot itself, I think the pilot's very weak. I think it's probably the weakest episode of the actual season. So I'd give it 2. We'll give it 2 wings.
2 wings?
2 wings.
Wow, I gave it more. Huh?
Yeah, I give it 2 wings.
I gave it 2.5.
And peanuts.
And some peanuts.
Yeah.
And a water.
Yeah.
You were very generous.
I mean, I give it like
Southwest flight.
2 wings and a duffel bag under the seat. That's what it
They're
gets.
gonna charge you for that.
Not on Southwest. That's my carry-on.
Oh, true.
Okay. How about you, MJ?
2 wings too.
2 weeks too?
2 wings.
2 wings too, because sci-fi isn't my jam.
It's not mine too.
But like I said earlier, I did enjoy it more, the pilot. So actually, I might bump it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, I'll give it 2.5 wings.
You know, the fact that you said you're gonna bump it up, it makes me want to watch the rest of them now. Like, I want that experience too.
But say that I had watched this pilot without watching the whole season, and this was the first time I watched it, I might have just given it a 1 wing.
Did you guys binge this?
No.
I mean, kind of. I mean, I kind of forced her to binge it.
Oh, okay.
With me.
Because you were into it.
I mean, I was into it immediately because I was like, oh, it's kind of like Blade Runner-esque, future
It's
cyberpunk.
beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
But
It's shot very well.
I do have a habit of choosing Netflix shows, original series that then get canceled, aka Marco Polo, Sense8. So if we're going to judge it off of history, I mean, this show's probably getting canceled, no problem. Like, I mean...
totally.
It's probably going down here.
I actually think there's going to be 1 more season.
I
Really?
think it's done.
You think it's done?
I think it's done.
I think Netflix has a ton of money, and they're really, really trying to get into the sci-fi genre because they don't have enough. I feel like they don't have
Amazon
enough.
Prime has a lot.
Yeah, like they don't have enough in this genre of original shows, and I feel like it's not the worst show. So I feel like maybe they'll have another season.
Okay.
I think...
When do we find out? I guess...
Maybe soon. I feel like it
Yeah,
should be
I mean, it's probably
right
been
now.
out long enough now that they probably have a decision soon. I think the one beneficial thing that we talked about, MJ and I, about the show is that the fact with the idea of sleeving, you can write out the actor who's playing the current character and bring somebody different in.
That's very Netflix.
So, yeah, I mean...
So no commitment.
It's kind of like Doctor Who when they replace the Doctor. That's always good. I mean, so, you know, or True Detective, like, all right.
It's like this show.
Joel doesn't want to do
Yeah,
season
totally.
1 or season 2. Let's get a different character.
Right.
And also with this sleeving, it could technically, it could be a female the next season.
Yeah. And
Pretty awesome.
give it a chance to everyone.
It's
That's
a nice
why,
concept,
I
though.
do like the concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my rating is going to be 2.5 wings.
Oh, it went up.
I did. I told you that I was going to bump it up because I enjoyed it more. But like I said, if this was my first viewing and I think I wasn't in the sci-fi mood when I watched it, 1 wing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think my rating is bullshit and you shouldn't listen to it. But, you know,
But it's our show, so
it's
you
our
have to
show,
listen to
so
it.
whatever.
She's not a credible source.
I'm not
so
a credible
don't listen to
rater for this episode or this show.
And we're always open to new, shows for our podcast. That's why we wanted kind of like a plethora of different genres. And this was, Netflix
Yeah.
had this up, so
I think
thought that was
that's-
a good thing.
Yeah, that's also the beauty of our show is that we have
We
that.
can re-sleeve.
We
But
can
you can't
re-sleeve.
you can't re-sleeve this pilot though. Let's be real. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, so that's it.
That is it for me too. That's
We-
all I
we-
have to say for that.
We did it.
We
We're done.
we made it. We made
We
it.
made it. Thank you, Sean, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks for having me. Do I get to fade out like Altered Carbon saying wow?
So you can find us on Twitter at Pilot Seat Pod. If you want to email us, pilotseatpod@gmail.com if you have any input or anything else. Sean, where can they find you?
They can find me at... No, not at Bark Bark. They can find me at Money Musgrove is my personal account, but you can find the Bagged and Boarded podcast at The Weekly BB on Twitter.
Oh, are we doing personal Twitters? I'm at fatty_Magoo.
Someone hacked my Twitter, so I'm just, you can find me in our podcast.
Your Twitter's being re-sleeved.
Sure is.
I'm like, no sense in restarting this. All right.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Later.
See ya.